Welcome everyone to today's webcast. This is the third installment in our Customer Story webcast series, Transparency is the New Green, featuring the Tarkett Group and CHPS. And we're excited to have all of you taking your time out of your busy day to spend an hour learning with us. Transparency is the New Green is our new customer webcast series that we launched in December, featuring manufacturers who have created listings or added products to our relatively new transparency catalog to be able to make access to finding their products with transparency information easy for building product professionals, partners, their own employees, as well as all the different types of architecture, engineering, and construction professionals who are looking for products. You're going to see as we walk through this, and all of you who are here, we're all learning together about what product transparency means, how manufacturers are doing it and what they're learning from it, and how AECs are using the product transparency information to make decisions about building higher performing, greener and healthier buildings. So the purpose of this series is to really learn together from both sides of the equation. What does it take for a manufacturer to dig in and produce this very technical, very interesting, and voluminous kinds of information and package it to deliver to building professionals to make decisions? And what are they doing along the way to actually improve their products while they're in the process of creating these disclosures? The reason we call the series Transparency is the New Green is because you'll see in the green building rating systems like CHPS, there's now a number of them that have said, okay, single attribute reporting is interesting and it's good, and those manufacturers who really are out front making the effort have gotten those certifications and those ratings for the products in each of their categories. Product transparency takes disclosure to a new level and looks holistically at the product from an environmental perspective and a material perspective. And so those manufacturers who are creating that kind of disclosure and are making the effort are really resetting the bar for what green or environmental performance and material health means. I just want to give you a quick rundown. Every month we'll have an installment. We started back in December with Scott Miller from Knopf and Marty Groman from GAF, followed by Aaron Smith from View Glass and Kristen Girts from TOTO. And the reason I'm giving you kind of this backstory is to show you it's all kinds of products from manufacturers in all categories, large and small, and who all have very interesting, unique stories to tell about what they're doing internally to be able to produce these disclosures, what they're learning, and how they're delivering that information to you, the AEC community, to make better decisions about products. So back in February, we announced with CHPS a partnership to focus on bringing the products from manufacturers who are producing transparency information to the K through 12 educational space. And we're very excited. We've seen a great response from the industry, not only from building product professionals, but also from school districts and folks making larger decisions about how to build schools and the productivity of those environments increased by building healthier schools. And so Stephanie and I, along with the folks from eCore, kicked it off. And this month, we have with us Diane from Tarkett, who was going to talk about really the very broad role that she has in overseeing product transparency from all their brands. And we'll get into that very quickly. I'm going to set the stage today with what we're doing with the transparency catalog, how it is a different kind of platform. There are a number of product databases. There will be more. People will use many of them, not just one. And so each one will bring different types of attributes and features and functions. And it's all good, right? It all is about helping manufacturers get the word out to those folks who are looking for their products and being able to use that information in a way that makes sense to them. So the quick introduction to the Transparency Catalog. It's one of Sustainable Minds' transparency products. And it really is our kind of entry product that makes it possible for manufacturers to start providing disclosures alongside product information by linking those things together. And really, Sustainable Minds believes that, once you really start to understand the amount of effort and time and money and knowledge it takes for manufacturers to improve their products and to create these disclosures, you'll have a whole new appreciation for the effort. And we all should want to reward them for that effort. And so the catalog was created to celebrate all the brands who have gotten started, whether they've done a little bit or a lot. Let's celebrate them and make it possible, make it easy to reward them for providing this information that the market has asked for. And so we've built in some capabilities that make it easy to let manufacturers know that the catalog exists, that they can have a listing. That's why we can refer to it as creating this virtuous cycle of supply and demand, but in a carrot kind of way rather than a kind of a stick kind of way that may have been introduced in the past. We want to only be positive going forward that, hey, if you're doing this, if you're providing this information and it's accessible and understandable and it helps us make better decisions, then we want to specify your products. And so Sustainable Minds has created this transparency catalog to be equally transparent. We are respectful of the ownership of the information. Manufacturer owns that information. They own all the analytics and all of the data that we collect about what's happening with their information. We don't get information from anywhere else. We only get it from the manufacturers or from the certifiers. And we really are all dedicated to this larger idea of actually building higher performing, greener and healthier buildings. And to that end, Sustainable Minds will be donating a portion every year of the proceeds from the catalog to the National Park Foundation, just as a reminder for all of us that green building is in service to a higher idea, which is to preserve and protect both the built environment and the natural environment. And so to that end, the Transparency Catalog is really an educational marketing platform. And people have said, why is it only for products with transparency information? That seems a little, obscure, maybe right now. But again, we want to be celebrating and promoting those manufacturers who are making the effort and being transparent and educating the market about what they're learning and what's actually in their products. And you're going to find that those manufacturers who are doing this are the ones who've been out in front, who have gotten the single attribute certificates and ratings for the products in their categories. What we really want to do is provide a simple, low-cost, high-value way for those manufacturers to get their products in front of the people that care. So with LEED v4, CHIPS, WELL, ILFI, there's more rating systems that are awarding credits for products with transparency information. But people aren't looking just for disclosures, they're looking for products with disclosures. And like I said, we not only want to provide the product information alongside the disclosure information, we want to educate everyone along the way. What does this information mean? How is it created? And how does it get used? So the first phase of the transparency catalog is making the information findable and understandable and meaningful. In subsequent phases, when we have more content from manufacturers, we'll be able to continue to build out functionality that really does help people make better decisions about products and makes it easier to use those products on projects and streamlines the whole selection and submission process. So again, just to ground in what we're really talking about, the process of creating disclosures serves two purposes. It helps manufacturers both design greener and healthier products and then helps them market them. And a lot of folks have not really thought about disclosure as a marketing activity, but in fact, that is exactly what it is. Manufacturers are producing these disclosures to help sell more products. And so, we've been of the mind for quite some time. It's all the same drivers that are driving manufacturers to both design and market greener products. So, let's put everything all in one place, make it easy to understand, and help people now make the distinctions between the products from all of the manufacturers who are producing disclosures, because we do believe that product transparency is a great marketing tool and it does build credibly greener brands, but not by just producing disclosures. The value for manufacturers to provide this information about their products comes from their ability to demonstrate they understand what it means and they know what they're doing. Because making greener purchase decisions requires consistent, understandable, and meaningful information, if that's delivered, truth builds trust, trust builds powerful brands, and powerful brands create preference and value for their companies. And so today, the challenges for building professionals are that, one, they can't really easily find products with disclosures, and they can't really understand them in a meaningful way to help make decisions beyond the fact that the disclosure exists. And the manufacturers' challenges are, more and more manufacturers are producing disclosures. So how do the ones who've been leading the way continue to tell their story and maintain an advantage? How do they really connect the dots between the investment in transparency to product sales? How do they start to operationalize this into their product development and product marketing processes so that it just becomes part of the way they work, so it becomes efficient for creation, training, and distribution? How do they actually deliver it in a way the AEC community needs it, and so that it adds up to build a credibly greener and healthier brand? And it turns out that research shows that still today, most people will go to a manufacturer's website to find the products that they're looking for. And manufacturers hope that's what happens because that's why they build websites. That's where they can have a relationship with you. But the truth is that today, websites have still not been designed or redesigned yet to make it easy for you who are looking for products with transparency information to go to the manufacturer's website and find just the products that they have with that transparency information. And so we call that, there's not yet an intentional user experience. These manufacturers care about you as a customer. They're making products and producing disclosures that they know you want, but yet there's still this challenge of how do they streamline that delivery. And so we're actually helping to solve both of those problems, that the transparency catalog allows users to show up with the catalog and find those manufacturers' products with transparency information. And we also help when a user shows up at the manufacturer's website, they get directed to either the catalog or the transparency products that are also part of our line that I'll tell you a little bit more about later. So again, this is all part of a comprehensive approach to helping manufacturers get their products with transparency information out in front of the folks who are looking for those products, no matter where they're looking for them. And so this is the transition to Diane, and I'm going to change to a different slide deck in just a moment. The really exciting challenge working with Diane and Valerie, her colleague, in creating this listing was they took us up on that offer, which was, how do we make it really easy? Let's put all of our products from all of our brands in one place so that anybody looking for products from us can find it in one page. And so I'll give you a little bit of a demo after Diane does her presentation. This is one page. It's over 800 products, easy to find the products and the disclosures from all the different brands. Now I'm going to turn it over to Diane, who will talk about the work that she does to bring all this to fruition.
Thank you. So, good afternoon. My name is Diane Martel. I'm Vice President of Environmental Planning and Strategy for Tarkett North America. Journey in sustainability is more than 18 years, I think now, and it's been a journey that was, I would say, at the very interesting in terms of learning experiences, as well as how we've embraced sustainability within the company. I was very blessed that way. So Tarkett, for those who don't know us much, Tarkett is the business. Probably a lot of you know that brand for wall-based accessories and resilient floors. Tandis Sentiva, carpet tile, carpet broadloom, as well as LVT and Deso carpet tile. So we have a broad array of solutions for your needs. Okay, so what do we do every day? Well, you know, Tarkett really helps build futures. We're looking at products, and for a company like us, certainly there's a lot of expectations on high performing products, beautiful aesthetics, competitive pricing, outstanding customer service. But sustainability is one of our core beliefs, and it's really actually one of our values. And it's based on what we see today as mega trends. And these mega trends are a lot about aging population, explosion of the population, as well as in terms of explosion of the middle class to 3 billion people, 9 billion people on the planet. And how does that affect our actual resources? So our history is really rooted in sustainability. And we really look at a very long history in sustainability itself. You see here a little bit of our history. We started recycling in 1957, but most importantly to me, since 2010, we really impacted the company very strongly around our partnership with APEA, Environmental Protection and Encouragement Agency, around Cradle to Cradle. In 2013, circular economy, we were one of the 10 first companies to participate in the CE Circular Economy 100. And really how this brought us to a very different place around materials, around the way we recycle, and the whole strategy has brought a change, a major change in our company. So really it's about, and this is really a cradle to cradle mentality. We've been inspired really by Cradle to Cradle and the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, which is the Circular 100, which is the circular economy. It's really changing the model from a linear economy, which is take, make, dispose, to a circular one where we can recycle, and good materials perpetually cycled is really in essence what we're trying to do. So design products for reuse according to cradle principles for a positive impact on people and the environment is really what we're trying to achieve. So we started with a strategy called closed loop circular design. And it's really based on 4 pillars you see here: good materials, resource stewardship, people-friendly spaces, and reuse, recycle. The 2 pillars that probably are the most important to you today are good materials and people-friendly spaces, because we want to ensure that good materials, safe for people, safe for the environment, as well as recycled, rapidly renewable, or abundant in nature, because we want to make sure that we do not contribute to resource scarcity, as well as ensure that our products are healthy and contribute to the health and well-being of people and spaces. So just a very short, brief introduction. We have 2020 goals that are very precise. We have 2 goals per pillar. I think what's very important to us is actually good chemistry, as well as low emitting products to allow us to contribute to the health and wellness of people. And that's really where we are putting emphasis right now. You know, we talked about cradle to cradle a couple of times. I think most of you probably know the principles. We have currently all these products that are certified. Over 209 products under these umbrellas are certified cradle to cradle at different levels. But certainly our focus and importance is on all of the different aspects of cradle to cradle, but certainly material health is very important. Through APEA, through Environmental Protection and Encouragement Agency, we started in 2011 to really assess our materials. And that will bring us to what we've been doing in the last 3 years, which is really trying to create more transparency around material health, around what we're doing in terms of the nice to have, but it's also about optimization of product. And I think that's the most important part of what we do every day, is actually understand our products through assessment. And then if we have the opportunity and the chemistry is available, and we can work with our supply chain, which is very important to create these alternatives, it's really optimization of our products as we find alternatives to the materials that are red or banned. It is an ongoing process. Today we have over 2,700 components, chemicals that assess, and it is, as I said, a continuous loop. So by 2020, our goal is to have 100% of our materials assessed. But as you see, certification is part of our strategy, but it's not the only part of our strategy. So here we see a little bit about the transparency tools that are existing today. As you see here, we gave an example of Harmonium. Harmonium is one of the products that are used in schools. We have a declare label, a cradle to cradle silver on this product, and we have published an MHS. Why did we do this? Because we feel that cradle to cradle is a very important certification. Obviously, we have on material assessment a silver, but we wanted to give the market a little bit better tool in terms of understanding the chemistry of our product. So Harmonium is one of our products, and it is basically showing the 3 different tools we have. We have the cradle to cradle certification, as well as the declare label, as well as the material health statement. Material health statement is a manufacturing inventory. It needs the lead credit for option 1 and 2 in this case, because we have a silver on cradle to cradle. But we really wanted to do it in a radical way, not only showing the hazard, but also showing the risk. And the risk is actually done under a European precautionary principle, and under a real view, a very conservative view of the risk factor around that material. What's interesting about that is that through NDAs with APEA, our supply chain is also looking and giving information on their manufacturing process. So not only do you have in this material health assessment or material health statement the risk attached to the product in the use phase, but also in the supply chain as well as our own manufacturing. Most of our plants today are ISO 14001, so we have very, very strong environmental mission and actions within each of the plants to ensure that we have the best possible solutions and organizations within the plant. So the material health statement is really the tool that we have developed to ensure that you get, as architects, designers, end users, the information you need to make an educated decision. This blue ribbon apple pies are really like, what does it mean? So an inventory is all the ingredients you have to put into the pie. You screen those ingredients to choose the best ingredients possible. And then you make an assessment. You can go buy your apples, you can get it from local farmers, or you can actually have an apple tree in your garden, which means that you have actually controlled the full spectrum of how this apple was. Then basically you can create this pie using healthy and safe materials. And for the flooring, it's exactly the same process. We need to understand our supply chain, their materials, where they come from. We need to understand how we make that product and the plant and the people around the making of the product. And then in the use phase, how does it affect or impact the health and wellness of people and spaces? And then at the tail end of that, at the end of the use phase, how can we bring it back and put it back into our new product? So it's really closing the loop on the products that we sell every day. And certainly the goal here and the roadmap is to close the loop on our products. The next slide is a little bit about chips. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that and why are we part of CHPS and what does it do or what does it mean for us? I think it's important to understand that CHIP is really focusing on indoor air quality. It focuses on acoustics, lighting, thermal conditions. And I took this from a quote from their technical director. I think it might be our next panelist. CHIPS focuses on indoor air quality, acoustics, lighting, thermal conditions to facilitate the construction of schools that are conducive to learning. And basically, Tarkett is really people-centric, and we believe that we are a large part, a part of the health and wellness of people in spaces. People-friendly spaces has been in our DNA since 2006. Somebody else was talking about people in spaces and that terminology in terms of indoor air quality, in terms of acoustics. And we believe that we have a mission and a purpose there to ensure better futures. And I personally am very committed to that in our industry and certainly in our company. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Diane. You really do have an enormous number of products that you've really dug down into to improve. And we do want to just apologize to the attendees for the audio. I should mention that the deck will be available after the webinar And we are recording the webinar that will be posted too, but the audio portions that cut out will still be there. So apologies for that. But I think Diane was able to clearly communicate the information she came to communicate today. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the transparency catalog, and we're going to take a little tour in just a moment. So here we are at the transparency catalog, and as you can see, we're presenting a simple catalog designed to help you find all the brands that have products with transparency information. And if you scroll down, you can see we wanted to really drive that point home by listing all the brands from all of the material health rating systems and standards, all the program operators. And you can see along the side a number of the manufacturers who have created, we call it a standard listing. And I'm going to take you to the Tarkett listing. So here we are, and what you have in the listing is an introduction to Tarkett. You can contact them from the listing. And because the product transparency credits are organized by environmental performance and material ingredients, so is the design of the listing. And you can see the products are organized by the CSI master format numbers, as well as by the brand. So when there's a brand name for the CSI master format level, that gets added, and then you can see how many products there are. So you can browse the catalog section by section, or you can open them all. The listings are very optimized. It's a very quick, simple tool, again, that allows you to see all the products that they have with transparency information. So if you click here, it's going to take you to the product page on the Johnsonite site so that you can see all the information, all of the certificates, ratings, all of the additional information you would expect to find on a manufacturer's website. And you can click here to get to the certificates, actually download them. I have my browser set up to download. If you have your browser set to open in another window, it will. And so you can quickly browse and see all the different kinds of products and how many they have in each group and the different types of disclosures once again. Now we've made the point, and Diane did as well, that indoor air quality is a really important attribute to not only report on, but consider when you're specifying products. And so, as I said before, every listing will have this section in the listing where the manufacturer can talk about all the certificates and other ratings they've achieved for those single attributes that are important to the category. And again, you can you remind people that we donate a portion of the proceeds to the National Park Foundation, and you can go back and search all products by brand. Now, when I talked before about the virtuous cycle of supply and demand, all of the brand names that you see here that are not bold represent brands who have transparency information, but because, as I mentioned, we only provide information when a manufacturer has provided it, we want to let the market know that this company does have products with transparency information, but you'll have to go to the website to find it. And we provide 3 links in that one simple listing to that manufacturer's website so that you can find their products with transparency information. Now, we talked about the ease of finding products with transparency information, which is why it actually is pretty helpful to have a listing. And so we've provided a couple links. So if you're a manufacturer and you see that we already have a freemium listing for you in the catalog, then you can click that link and email us directly and let us know you're interested in learning more about what the catalog has to offer. If you're a building professional and you like the brand, then you can click that link and email the manufacturer and let them know, hey, there's this catalog that you might consider putting your products in because it's going to make it better for you and better for us who are looking for products with transparency information. And I want to point out, we don't spam the manufacturer. You actually have to know somebody there and put in their actual email address to send it to them, but it'll copy us if you want. And so that way, it's this virtuous cycle. You're letting manufacturers know, hey, we should all work to make sure that manufacturers whose products with transparency information can be easily found and specified. So I invite you all to take a tour of the catalog. In the effort to wrap up this section, I mentioned that the catalog is just one of our transparency products. It's the introductory level. And our other transparency products literally integrate the disclosure information and the product information into one integrated report. So we have our own brand of EPD called the Transparency Report. All of these marketing tools are in the cloud so that data can be reused and used in different formats. But these really are marketing tools that integrate the functional information, the environmental performance or material ingredient information, and then all of the interpretation and improvement stories that manufacturers want to be able to share with you that there's no place to do in a disclosure. And if you think about the manufacturer's websites kind of in silos where you have product information, sustainability information, and sometimes even just pages of downloadable disclosures, we've designed these reporting tools to integrate everything all in one place. So when you go to the manufacturer's listing, instead of clicking on the product name and going to the manufacturer's website, you're going to get one of these integrated reports that has everything all in one place. And this is our latest transparency product that we developed with GAF for manufacturers who have lots of different types of disclosures for a product or a product family. And so you can see on that one page all the different types of disclosures, the salient attributes of those disclosures, and they all get displayed in a brand showroom so that when you come to a manufacturer's website, they're going to direct you to their brand showroom to find all the products with transparency information. Just to wrap up on the listing, again, to keep it low cost and high value, because it's a marketing tool, we do want manufacturers to be able to know who's coming to look at their listing. And remember, it's not just people looking for products. It's also all their salespeople, their distributors, their partners, the architectural reps who want to be able to go to one place, find everything. So there's a lot of different use cases for and benefit statements for having everything all in one place. As we build up more manufacturers participating, we will be adding the filtering capabilities. And this actually helps also make the distinction that we are not a product database only. We will add the filtering capabilities for 3 simple use cases when there's enough manufacturers to be able to compare, which actually will be soon. But it's just 3 simple use cases. Find all products from a brand, which you can do today. Find all products from a brand in a product category, and then find all products that map to the various product transparency rating systems and credits. There's a value proposition for manufacturers and for the building professionals to get that intentional user experience, to make operations, sales operations, and marketing more efficient and effective, be able to share those improvement stories, make it clear in your own language, in your own story, so there's no misinterpretation, and to credibly build that greener brand. And so now I'm really pleased and proud to introduce you to Stephanie Mason, the technical director from CHPS, who put together this relationship with us. She's here to tell you about the work that they're doing at CHPS and why partnering with Sustainable Minds was an idea that she had. Stephanie, take it away.
All right, I'm going to run through this somewhat quickly because we are running towards the end and I want to allow some time for questions. So thank you both Terry and Diane for your information on your organizations and what you're doing to help promote product transparency and healthier environments. So the reason that I pursued this partnership was while CHPS had maintained a high performance products database, we decided that given some of the new organizations and trends in material product information exchanges, that we wanted to get back and focus more on our core mission and look to these other organizations to help promote high performance products and as places where our community would be able to find high performance products for their schools. So products that promote the healthy environment for the occupants. And so as some of you may know, we're sunsetting the product database as of September 30th, 2017. So we'll be looking at organizations and databases like Sustainable Minds Transparency Catalog. And one of the reasons we looked at Sustainable Minds is that recently, in the past couple of years, CHPS has added credits for both environmental product declarations and health information reporting, or HPDs, health product declarations. And so these are relatively new in our rating system, and we wanted to help the AEC and school personnel to be able to identify these products to help create these healthier environments for their students. So the CHPS, if you may know, is a 501c3 nonprofit, and our goal is to make every school an ideal place to learn. And we do this by providing tools and resources to help with the design, construction, operation, and maintenance of learning environments that are healthy and help promote performance and productivity of its occupants. And so having healthier materials is clearly part of this ideal place to learn. So what is a high performance school? It's efficient, it's healthy, safe, it's comfortable, it's a place where the occupants can perform at their peak. And so CHPS looks at the school facility as not just a building where you learn, but a building where you can actually promote and enhance that learning ability and student well-being. So the three priorities of CHPS, and you may have seen these before, but these are the priorities in their order. Our first priority is to protect and enhance student health, student and staff health and well-being, and improve the learning environment to get optimal student performance, to make the building conducive to productivity, to good cognitive functioning. While doing that, we want to make sure that we're being good stewards in conserving energy, water, and other resources, and also minimizing environmental degradation. So you can see how the EPDs and the HPDs fit well into into these priorities. So it's not just the building, but also the materials and products that we're putting in the building. In short, we really want to connect conditions inside the school to outcomes, okay? So our school design with materials and tie that to, like I said, student and staff health and performance. And we have a number of tools that we use for this, for new schools, also for existing schools, and that's where this relationship would come in to play, both new schools and existing schools, and even in prefabricated modular classrooms. So one of the tools is the CHPS criteria. We've made some updates. We have a core criteria, which is used nationwide, and that has become US CHPS. So you may be familiar with regional versions of CHPS, California CHPS, or Northeast CHPS, or Texas CHPS, for example. But we now have US CHPS, which is available in all of those states where there isn't a regional criteria. So with the growth in US CHPS, it's really incumbent upon us to make it easier to find the products and materials that go in these schools. So one of our criteria categories is materials and waste management. You'll see these high performance categories are very similar to those for LEED, but these are the categories we have in CHPS, and again, CHPS is only for K through 12 schools. Apparently I have ignore all that. So what's new is that we, like I said, we have these new credits for product transparency, and for ease, it's MW 7.1 is the EPDs and MW 10.1 is the HPDs, and you'll see this reflected in the transparency catalog. Our high performance product database, it was included low emitting materials and other attributes. We had started to add HPD in the material disclosures, but realized that it was getting too big for us and not really in our wheelhouse. And so we were looking to other organizations like Sustainable Minds to help fill this need. So again, we're trying to help project teams find products that meet the CHPS criteria, whether it's in a building that's being designed to the CHPS criteria, just a school building that's being renovated or updated and just wants to do what they can to be healthy and high performance. We also wanted to be able to educate the users about the impacts of their product selection. As I said, it fits into the priorities of CHPS. So essentially, we're phasing out the high performance database. And we're looking then to partner with other organizations. And some of the goals here is that we're looking for it to be an online database where the product search is free. We want to make it easy to find the products, and we don't want there to be a cost associated with that. It needs to include those attributes that are in the CHPS criteria and has claims that are approved by the CHPS criteria. For example, the declare label is one of the pathways for demonstrating the HPD criteria, or the ULEPDs is an option for the EPDs, and so on. We also were looking for databases with multiple product types, and again, that were certification, verification, organization neutral. We don't want to be tied to a specific one. So that's what we're looking for, and Sustainable Minds met these criteria. So our first relationship with outside organizations with Sustainable Minds and their transparency catalog. And there is a CHPS member benefit where if a CHPS manufacturer member is interested in listing on the transparency catalog, they receive a discount in those fees. Again, because we want to promote these high performance products, these transparent products in the school environment. And so again, while this is the first of our relationships, we have others that are working on, because we do want to provide broad opportunities to find these products, such as those that Tarkett showed you earlier today. So again, I know this was short. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, contact CHPS. And if you're interested in supporting this high performance movement, you really consider becoming a CHPS member, become part of the movement to create these healthy high performance schools. And if you want to learn more, Sydney Munns at CHPS would be more than happy to tell you about the specific benefits. I'm going to wrap it up there. I want to thank you all very much for attending. Thank you so much, Diane, for your presentation on Tarkett and for the amazing work and progress you've made in creating these healthy, high-performance products. And Terry, thank you so much for hosting and letting everyone know about your wonderful database that you have here.
Thank you so much.
So I guess if there's any questions, I know we're just at time now. So if there's anyone who wants to speak it out and ask, please do so.
Yeah, I'd like to also thanks everyone for their time and their contributions. There were a couple questions, and we can follow up directly with the asker of those, but it seems as though every other question that's current was addressed. So there is a quick survey on your way out, and we all invite you to just leave your thoughts on your way out. It's very helpful for us. And visit the catalog. It is always changing. Every day we're adding new brands and adding new functionality and new products. So please stop by frequently. And I wish you all a great day. Thank you.